Healthy vending team. It's Nick Grant. I want to walk you through some of the new changes. I recently just imported all of the leads inside SalesForce as accounts and contacts. So let me walk through with you the hierarchy that we're going to be using from this point on. An account can be a variety of items, and underneath the type of account, we have franchisees, partners, self-ops, strategic partnerships, and locations. So for the time being, all what we were using as leads are actually now going to be location, and that's going to stand for location leads. And as you know, these individuals kind of progress. They actually won't ever change from the status. And so let me explain. Let's say that NCG is a location. So NCG happens to be a high school, and here's my address, and I have all of my data associated with this. Here's my LDA information, the same LDA information that was accessible when we were working in the leads. We can change this view, so don't get caught up in the view itself, but all the data is going to be there, and all the data just got imported in from the lead into the account. So as we scroll down, all the contacts that are associated with the specific account will be listed here. Now these contacts won't be listed here in order of hierarchy, such as decision maker, etc. We get more into that when an opportunity is created. This is where we're going to make our calls, create our tasks, so everything's going to happen inside the account. And rarely will you ever work in a franchisee's account. So really you should never really be working in a franchisee's account. And I'll show you why here in just a sec. But we have our contacts, our activities. Now, when it comes time that this location becomes available for an opportunity. So now you guys have been working diligently on working to figure out who you should be talking to, and all of a sudden we have our first meeting set. We're going to come down and we're going to create a new opportunity. So before, what we were doing was we were converting the lead into the opportunity and then assigning it to an account. Now what we're going to do is we're actually just going to create an opportunity. But what becomes interesting is, because we're creating an opportunity in an account that already exists, our naming convention changes a little bit, because no longer are we going to call this NCG, because that's the name of the account. So I spoke briefly today with John Pinto, and I'll get with Steve tomorrow, but we're going to have a new naming convention for opportunities, but I envision it being something like this: Grant / in this specific location, it's going to be a media mogul, and then of course it's going to be one machine. So something along those lines, right? We've got our last name so that we can report on it, the machine the machine or machines. In this case, if it was 3 media moguls, we put 3 micro markets, etc. But we'll have something definitive for you tomorrow. And then of course the stage, first meeting set. Close date is the projected close date. So I know that they're not under contract, it's a hot lead. I think I can close them by the end of October. So that's what the close date is going to be. And the amount, of course, is going to be for one media mogul. That's going to be $7,500. And we're good to go. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now what you're going to notice now in the opportunity is, as we scroll down in the opportunity, we have a section called partners. Well, NCG is a location. This is a high school, and the opportunity for this high school just happens to be 3 media moguls. But this is in association with a franchisee, and in this case, we'll just say, let's see if I'll just pick one real fast. With this franchisee. So this franchisee, and of course in here we're going to have franchisee, So let's pretend like advertiser is franchisee. I'm going to hit save. So this opportunity for this location, which is an account, is associated with the franchisee that we're working on behalf of, which is 00000. Okay, cool. So now let's talk about contact rules. So you guys have been working diligently with this specific account. You've got BG, Kevin Dorsey, and John Gardner. Well, it turns out that BG is actually the decision maker, and Kevin is going to be the technical buyer, and John Gardner is actually the evaluator. Okay, cool. So we've kind of created our hierarchy of people. So now when we're in the opportunity and we're working on this specific account, now I can look at this and I can look at the roles. Okay, BG's the decision maker, the technical buyer, and the evaluator. So the hierarchy, as far as how those people rank, that will actually come to play inside the opportunity. Okay, so quick overview one more time. So we have our account, NCG. This account is not a franchisee, it's not a partner, it's not a self-op, and more importantly, it's not a strategic partnership, it's actually location. Great. So now we have the location. I've got my notes. Actually the name of this school location is NCG High School District. Okay, cool. So there you go, there's that. I'm going to save this. And actually, the type of location is this is going to be a private high school. Okay, cool. So it's a private high school. It's NCG school district. They're not under contract. I have all these people I've been working with, and I just kind of broke through. And now I just had my first opportunity come through. Hit my meeting set, my potential revenue, and my projected close date October 31st. Now when I scroll down here and I look at my partners, well, guess what? I have this partner, which is this franchisee that's associated with this opportunity. And instead of this role saying advertiser, this would say franchisee. If this was a strategic partnership, this would say strategic partnership. But what's really cool about this is I can actually click into the franchisee. And so the franchisee is an account, and in this case, what this would be is this would actually be franchisee. This is how this would read. So I click in and I look at the franchisee and I'm like, okay, cool, I've got all these great notes. And at the bottom of partners, what I've noticed is it actually creates a two-way relationship with the location that I'm working with. So now for this franchisee, I can now see that, oh, this opportunity is available at this location. So I can either click into the opportunity, which takes me right into the opportunity, which is the one that I've been working on with my pipeline and everything else. And then from here, I can click into my account for the location, or I can click back into the franchisee down here underneath the partner. But the opportunity will continue to work exactly the same way as it has been. Let's say, for example, that if I click on New for Contact Rules, these are all the contact rules that exist for the NCG account. So notice all these names. We've NS Stanton to BG. Okay, cool. So I'm going to pop back out for a second. And I'm going to go back to the NCG account. And as I scroll down, I'm going to go to my list of 13. So here they are. Here's all 13 of those people that are showing up in my contact rules. Okay, so what's really cool about this is when we're working inside our opportunity, my Grant Media Mogul 3, and I am kind of, working with my contact rules. Let's say that the franchisee is actually the decision maker. So, or the franchisee is the person at the end of the day who actually says they're the influencer. Well, notice that these are only pulling in the contacts from the location account, not the franchisee account. So what I want to do is I want to do a lookup, and I'm going to look for the franchisee. And in this case, let's just say it's BGBG. Let's pretend like this person doesn't even exist anywhere else. So now BGBG is actually the influencer. I hit save. So just because the contact doesn't exist doesn't mean you can't choose another contact within SalesForce. And now what I just did was I said, okay, BGBG is the influencer who also happens to be the franchisee that's associated with this franchisee account. So anyway, I hope this structure and hierarchy helps. We just did this migration. We're leaving leads on for the next 10 days through the end of next week, so that you can go in and look at the task and everything else that you have associated with leads. Task will not transfer over in this data import that I just did. So you'll need to kind of work out of leads and accounts for the time being. But all of your leads should now be accounts and then contacts. Inside the leads, the way that you're going to look at this is your company is now going to be the account. So whatever your company field was is now the account, and then everything else has been imported over. The lead owner may or may not have been imported, but you can use the same type of search search query that you had before for leads. You can use that for accounts, and it should work essentially the same minus the account owner. So as you have questions, which I'm sure you will, reach out to Steve, John Pinto, or myself. I'll be available all morning. And if you have questions or concerns or issues finding information, let me know. If you find duplicate accounts, let me show you how this works. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a duplicate account just to kind of walk you through this. So let's say that I have 2 NCG accounts, and you will run into this. I'm going to hit Merge Accounts underneath Tools. I'm going to type in NCG and hit Find Accounts, and you'll notice that both show up. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit Next. And the way that this works is it kind of shows you side by side what's going on. So either I can do Select All, or as I scroll down, it's like, okay, for the most part, this is pretty consistent. All related records, including notes, attachments, will be associated with the new merged account. So everything that was there before will actually be thrown in. So it's like, okay, cool. For the most part, this is pretty accurate. I am now ready to merge. I hit OK. And now I have one NCG account. And if I were to jump into this one NCG account, notice that all my contacts are still there, all my activities are still there, nothing gets changed. So again, you will have duplicate accounts. We will no longer be converting leads into accounts, so that stops now. If you absolutely have an issue finding what you're looking for, let me know. Again, I'm happy to help you and get you to where you need to be. So hope this helps, and we'll continue to do more training and get you guys up to par. Appreciate it, and reach out as you need to. Thanks.